Wow, it's a good day to be alive, and it's a perfect time to serve God. I tell you, because God is the only thing that makes sense right now in this world. And so, before we begin this program, we have to invite God. And so, we begin this program in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, through the blessed Holy Trinity. I come bearing the gift of goodness and perfection. Now, as we all know, this is the eye of wisdom. You know, I defined this program. I said something the other time. I said it's a safe space where wisdom becomes knowledge of understanding. Yes. And so we are still on the topic of the Nigerian people and what governs their history. Now, I'm going to be truly honest with us. I didn't come here to talk about, anything. I just came here to pour out my frustration with what is going on right now. You know, yesterday night I searched Google. I asked Google what history was. And Google told me so many things about history. Google told me about records of the past and how that past influences the present. And then I tend to ask myself, we don't have history. And so where is that record that we have? Where is that how can that influence? Like what do we have that's gonna influence our present? We have nothing. And so, what is affecting us right now is our history of what we did not do or what we are supposed to do. And that is what is affecting us now. And so, I just want to air out my frustration so that everybody will know that this is getting serious and this is getting out of hand. Now, I remember when I was a teacher in school, a young girl came to me and she told me, Uncle, I feel like dying. I said, why? What's going on? She said, Uncle, she's suffering. That her parents are suffering, her parents are going through a lot. Then I now, because even me told myself I was also going through a lot too as well. Then I didn't know what to do. Do you know what she said? She said that back then they could just eat like 2 times a day, but now it's even getting worse. They could barely eat 1 time a day because and the food sometimes is not even enough. And then she made one statement that really melted my soul. She said something. She said, "Uncle, this country don't die." For those of us who are not Nigerian, she said, it's dead. There's nothing coming out of it again. And then I now wonder, I ask myself, imagine a 12 years old girl telling us that this our nation is dead. Come on. So where is the future then? What are we preparing for the next generation? What are we going to say to our kids? What are we going to understand? What interpretation are we going to say to them? What encouragement are we going to give to them? Imagine a 12-year-old girl telling you that she's tired, she feels like dying, and now that type of mentality right now what she go carry, grow up. Now when she gets to let's say 25, 26, she grows up with that mentality of nothing there here, or everything don't die. You understand? So we need to be watchful of some of these things, most especially our young children, because they are the ones that are suffering right now. What are we protecting them for? How are we protecting them, for crying out loud? How are we helping them to grow? So I think what we are going to do right now is that we need to create history in this our coming election. We need to create history because we don't have any history. We don't have no past. We have no present. How can we have a future? And so I'm here to air out my frustration and please, and then a young man I was speaking to, I was saying something in a church event. I was telling the congregation that, have you ever seen an Igbo man, a Yoruba man, an Hausa man in a place like they are sitting in a mat together, they are eating from the same food, from the same plate? Imagine if a Yoruba man, Igbo man, and Hausa man sits in one place eating tuwo. You understand? Or you see them eating, amala or something like that. You don't see them. But we have never seen something like that since I would have been in this country. So how can we grow when we are not together? And someone is telling me that religion is our problem. Come on, young man. You have not talked about what is within you, you're talking about religion. Yeah. These are things that we need to be looking at. You know, as I sat down, the eye of wisdom came to me, and told me something. He said, imagine if you are to wake Fela up right now, Fela Kuti. If you are to wake him up right now, do you know what he will say? He will smile. I say, I told these people, yeah, yeah. I told them, you know, that this thing is something that is going to keep happening over and over again. I remember when I watched a video of Fela, a video, and then he said, food no day, poverty day, everything. The same thing that he said, I don't know, 40, 50 years back, is still what is happening now. And someone is telling me that it go better. It will take better when we have not done anything. Better from where? Young man, step aside. Because I'm here to air out my frustration. Because I remember back then, you know, there was a song that I heard back then. I think it was from P Square. They said something. Yeah, Oga police you, waiting be this you don't dey stress me. Say back then we no believe until I think it was in 2020 or 2021 when there was that protest. And I said to someone, this now waiting person tell us before, but we no listen. I remember Two Face back then he said, you don't be like say they know they tell us another story again, No one heard him. I remember African China saying the same thing. Food, my brother water no dey. And yet, up to now, na still the same thing. It's like we know the listen, we don't want to move. And it's right now I'm frustrated. So we need to create history, we need to make history. You know, 2, 3 days, I think a week back, I went online and I started YouTube and I saw a new song. I opened it, it was Aya Star, and she was singing about tornado. And I asked myself, she said something, she said, wine like tornado. For this economy, with a wine like tornado, come on. This is the problem that we're having here. Even the music is even dying. For waiting, imagine nobody is singing anything about what is going on. And if you expect me to whine like tornado for this economy, no, I can't do that. Please, my sister, I can't do that. And so these are things that we need to look in and look at. And so I came here to talk about my frustration, and it's getting serious. What is our history? We don't have any. So until that happens, until we see a Yoruba man and an Igbo man and a Hausa man sit down in one place analyzing things, nothing will change here. In fact, in the next 100 years, if we have not done that, you guys will still come to this same video, and we're still going to be talking about the same thing. Every musician is talking about the same thing back then. African China, Two Face, P Square, all of them, Fela. If you should wake Fela up right now, he will be frustrated. He was like, after everything, why I don't tell these people yet, they don't want to do anything. And so, please, please, I'm begging many Nigerians that we need to create history. We don't have any. So that we can protect our young children. Because they are really going through a lot with what is going on. A 12 years old girl telling me that she feels like dying. Out of what? Poverty. She feels like dying. These are people we need to be protecting, giving arms. Because they are the future generation. Please, let's create history. In this coming election, let's come together as one. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you're thinking. That's why I said something the other time. I said, we are divided minds in a made-believe nation. Our minds are divided. It can't be like say they force us, we could just day, arrange marriage. They just put all of us together. Oh yeah, man, I just day, man, I just they live. Everybody just they pretend. You understand? Something goes on now. Everybody will wake up one morning and say, this can't thing don't happen for Nigeria again now. Wow, this one and normal thing. Every time the same. It's like we just they go for circle, circle, circle. Like you understand? We no one change. Even animals they migrate from one place to another. Even animals they change. But we did the same place. Please. We're not animals, we're human beings. Let's start acting like human beings. Please. And so my advice for us all Nigerians, let's make history, let's create history. So that we will not be here and be talking about the same thing over and over again. Me, self, I don't tire. Are you not tired of the rubbish and nonsense that is coming out? So please, you guys should share me your thoughts and share me your comments and tell me what you think because me, I'm frustrated. I hope you too are. Please. So let's just take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll continue from where we stopped. Thank you very much for listening.